What's going on, champs and champettes? This video is a little bit bigger than normal, so keep in mind that there will be a lot of talking, and this is actually a two-parter. So part 2 of this video will be out tomorrow at 9 AM Eastern time, so if you want to hear some other opinions I have regarding cancel culture as a whole, make sure to subscribe and post notifications enabled to not miss out on the second part of this whole entire ordeal. But with that said, in today's video we're going to be talking about Disguised Toast being quote-unquote cancelled, and how he actually responded to this in the best way humanly possible, while also calling out why cancel culture is, well, terrible, and even some content creators trying to band together to say we need to cancel culture. So without further ado, let's start reading his twit longer. Due to this being quite long, I'm not going to show it on screen, so just sit back, listen to my voice, and enjoy the background gameplay. So it starts off as the following. Since I've recently received a thoughtful and well-written message regarding some Twitter stan drama about my problematic past and people's attempt to cancel me, I thought it warranted a response from me. I have always towed the line of edgy humor when it comes to my online presence. Over the last 5 years, I've developed a more sarcastic, blunt, and satirical personality. There's nothing about what I've done publicly that I have tried to hide, delete, or claim ignorance to. I take full responsibility of all I've said and all of my actions. I can proudly say that I'm someone who is really open about my life in a space where many hide. Not because they are bad people, but because people on the internet love judging and backseating a streamer's life. Someone emailed me a list of problematic things I've done in their eyes, and that's making the rounds in the Twitter stan circles. And normally I would just say, just don't watch my content. Not in a dismissive manner, of course, but simply as this is just my humor. But it's been brought to my attention that there are literally people crying about it and even dragging the people I care about, namely my friends in offline TV and amigos, into it by pressuring them and condemning them for interacting with me. Shit on me all you want, but I always draw the line at attacking my friends, so let's take a look. The first claim is, he's a racist. In an offline TV video from 2 years ago where we did a don't laugh challenge, in an attempt to get a subject to laugh, I read off a race joke from a website. It was all bleeped out, but if you go looking for it, you'll find the full version. People seem to think that this means I support racism, even though my words and actions during the Black Lives Matter protest, it is clear that I condemn it. Even being attacked by people for using my platform to speak up against racism. It's an offensive joke I made to get a reaction from the participant. Trying to educate me that it's offensive has no weight because we all knew it was offensive. That's why it was censored. Is it tasteless? Sure, you can say that, but it doesn't make me a racist. As someone who was spat at for being the quiet Asian kid in school, being called Jackie Chan all the time, hearing ching chong when I go to eat at a restaurant, I have experienced racism myself. This obviously doesn't make me immune to being racist, but reading an offensive joke doesn't make me one either. The second claim against Disguised Toast is the following. He's a racist off stream. Disguised Toast responded by saying, in a podcast with Destiny, I mentioned that privately streamers say and do things that the public would find distasteful. This is the truth. There's a reason why the majority of streamers keep their lives so private and try to only show the positive of their lives to their audience. This is really important to understand. You only see what the streamer shows you on stream. You don't know what they are like when the cameras are off, besides stories and testimonies from people who actually know them. When I say I make racial jokes off stream, this does not mean I walk around the offline TV house dropping slurs left and right. It means occasionally, say we are discussing the next member of offline TV, I would say, are they Asian? Because we are too Asian. We should diversify with a whiter black guy. Obviously, we don't pick members based on race. Does that mean everyone in offline TV deserves to be cancelled and forced to apologies for not then running to Twitter and publicly condemning what I said in private? No. Now, his third claim that people are trying to say against him is that he promotes pedophilia, to which he said, during a game of Pictionary, the prompt was illegal, and I drew a stick figure of a young girl, obviously meaning pedophilia is illegal. Some people tweeted at me saying that I'm going to let you figure out what that one says because I'm not trying to get demonetized here, with children because of it. Some people say that they just find it tasteless. Tasteless, I understand. Again, it goes back to my edgy sense of humor. I don't support pedophilia, and I can't believe I even have to say that, and it honestly surprises me that some stans are trying to cancel me for this one. The prompt was illegal. I'm pretty sure it's clear that that even with the worst opinion of me, people can recognize that saying pedo equals bad. Now, the fourth claim I'm gonna try saying in a way that doesn't get me demonetized. This whole like statement can get me demonetized, man. But he is being claimed to be an advocate of unconsensual sexual conduct. And now his response is, this one bothered me the most because the others I can understand to some degree, of people just thinking my humor is crass and tasteless. Coincidentally, this is the one where the email didn't bother including any VODs or clips, just a recollection that I said, when a woman says no, don't let that stop you because she doesn't really mean it anyways, just keep going. I genuinely do not remember saying this, and am surprised that people didn't even bother to checking the VOD for it before just blindly accepting it. I do recall saying that if a girl says no, just ask until she gives in, as in keep bothering a girl if she turns you down, and obviously I hope people have enough social understanding to see that it was sarcastic, as I did it in front of two close female friends who I know will respond accordingly, such as, Toast, no, don't teach them that. When I make a satirical joke, I usually say something purposely ignorant because I know there exist men that do think that way, and I do it in front of people I know would react in a manner that shows that this line of thinking is not okay. I know doing so without a foil or friends to play the straight role, some fans might actually think I was being serious, which is why I always make sure that it's clear that what I'm saying is stupid. For this particular conversation, I also remember not finishing my sentence and immediately backtracking on it because I realized in the moment that some people might take it the wrong way since I didn't properly convey it. I recognize that unconsensual blank and sexual blank isn't something to joke about. I like to think that my actions during a period of time where friends of mine did go through such trauma shows how seriously I take it. It was a joke about how creepy men can be, and I don't think that would label me as a blank advocate, especially showing that there were no clips or VODs of this moment that I've seen. Now, his fifth and final thing that people are complaining about him is that they think Disguised Toast thinks there's nothing wrong with using the R slur, in which Disguised Toast said the following: this one is a complete head scratcher because I don't ever use the R slur, and I am aware of why it's a word that shouldn't be used, which is why I've never used it in any of my streams or videos for the last several years. The email claimed that I used this on a recent stream, but again, doesn't show the clip or VOD of me saying it. It really does break my heart to see people just eat all of this up without asking for at least the clip or context. They see the first 3 points had a video, so they assume the second 2 points are valid without needing proof. I even recently did a stream saying how I specifically refrained from using the word despite it being quote-unquote allowed by other streamers. And as a final note, someone said I was specifically attacking some Twitter user when I talked about cancel culture on stream recently, and to this I can only say I have no idea who they are. I usually talk in generalizations of what I see or what people tell me. My friend showed me the profile and I had no idea what was going on, but this person was claiming I was specifically attacking them and that I called them a child. This goes back to what I have always said about parasocial relationships. The stans will try their best to insert themselves into a streamer's life to an unhealthy point that this person thinks that I, Disguised Toast, was talking about them. When I talk about children stans trying to cancel people, I'm referring to the toxic ones who tell anyone who disagree with them to KYS and are only interested in getting an apology as some kind of victory. If you're not a child throwing a tantrum on Twitter, you're respectfully voicing your opinions, like the thread after here. I'm not talking about you when I talk about toxic stans. Take one look at my mentions and you can find the people I am talking about. Moving forwards, I will try to be a little bit less edgy, but that type of humor is something I grew up with and do find personally humorous. Similar to Michael Scott's character from The Office or Joey from Friends, it's clear that when they make ignorant remarks, they are ignorant remarks, and the reaction from the other characters make it clear on that. Now, there were some notes after this, but this video is already as long as it is from just reading his actual tweet longer, so let's talk about the responses. Basically, every content creator from Dahidanogla to Yavani and Leslie to just so many people, even Jacksepticeye, all agree with what Toast had to say in this actual post. Even CircleTunes HD made a joke about this by saying saying, "Hey man, 7 years ago you drew a little goal while playing Jackbox, and honestly, that just rubbed me the wrong way. Can you apologize? I will threaten your friends and family if you don't." And that's just like, that is like what cancel culture nowadays is. However, someone named Scara posted images from someone else named Fangs that explains personally a little bit of my opinions as well regarding cancel culture recently. Fangs had this to say: "Nobody is owed an apology for every little thing that offends them, especially when they are not involved with it at all. We all get offended at things in life, but it doesn't always have to involve an explanation/apology. The world doesn't resolve around you, insert person offended here. Furthermore, it is toxic to push your personal boundaries onto someone else, especially if you don't know them, and expect/force them to fit into your worldview. If your personal boundary is conflicted by the content you watch, you should move on instead of guilt-tripping said creator." And if you look back at a few videos ago, I talked about Carl Jacobs being exposed for simply showing up on a stream from Ice Poseidon years ago. People are just canceling people for anything nowadays. And like, I'll go more into this in part 2, but there's so much that is just like, people shouldn't have to make a response. People shouldn't be forced into actually talking about it and being like, "Hey guys, I'm sorry for my actions in the past." And it's just like, man, I don't really know how to say it. It's just like people, like content creators nowadays, with how stan culture has evolved, and you see like Minecraft stuff trending every single day. I mean, as of right now, the #1 trending in the United States is Omori, which is regarding content creator Rambo saying he'll play the game on stream. And it's just like, no matter what happens nowadays, it seems you just see cancel culture and you see these stands on Twitter like every single day. People will purposely dig up a past on someone else just to try exposing them, and most of the time it seems to work nowadays, where they're actually managing to get creators like Carl Jacobs, who shouldn't have had to apologize to fit into the norm of those around them, when in reality, everyone's a horrible person off the camera. Everyone, no matter if you're a content creator or not, everyone has done something that they could get canceled for, I would say, especially with how cancel culture is nowadays. There's been offensive jokes you may have made years ago back in middle school. If you ever become a content creator, I hope those stans don't find that clip or text message, whatever it may be, because it just seems like nowadays you can get canceled for anything. But that's more for the second video. This video is already long enough. Today's comment question of the day is simply going to be put: what do you think about Toast's actual like response on his Twitlonger response? Personally, I agree 100% about this, because edgy humor is edgy humor. And yeah, man, I'm trying to think of ways to say this without like spoiling more stuff that I want to talk about in the second video. But I think Disguised Toast is in the right, and I also think cancel culture has gone too far. With that said, however, my name's FireMonkey. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you champs and champettes next time with another video, part 2 about cancel culture. Peace out.